continuing in this series on the Chris Cuomo and Dave Smith debate. This video is them talking about why Trump now has 20% of the black vote. Let's get into this and let's see what they have to say.
Why do you think 2020 Trump only got 9% of the African-American vote, and Democrats have owned the black vote for decades, since 64. Why do you think it's 22% now to Trump?
I think that there's several reasons, okay?
All
now,
right.
do I know whether or not...
This is Chris Cuomo's way of not answering. I'm going out on a limb, and I don't think he's going to have an answer.
That's going to translate to the polls on Election Day?
Yeah.
I do not know. Do I think he's going to get 22% of the black vote? I want to be careful. No, I don't. But minority vote is a different thing. The Latino community is the most robust growth and voting bloc in this country. Asian Americans writ large, right? Not just, Chinese, Japanese, but that entire region, Southeast Asia.
We get what Asia is, dog. Keep going.
Asia included, East Asia included, is also very robust.
Geographical education is always needed, especially from this guy.
He gets a lot of those voters also. Why?
Yeah, that's why. Well, he just asked you about the black vote, so I don't know why you had to bring all the Asians in and tell us who Asians were, and that minority is not just black people. Just to let you know, minority is not just black people. Even though I didn't ask you about minorities, I asked you about the black. But anyways, and Asians are all, there's a bunch of them: South Asian, East Asian, West, North, and even Northwest. The direction of almost West and almost North. It's Northwest Asia. That applies to Asia as well, guys. Just in case you didn't know this. Anyways, I'm sorry for interrupting. Let's get back to it.
Disgust is in high demand. People are disgusted. I sit in many rooms like this with people who agree with you guys about nothing, but they match your anger. They are very, very angry.
Okay. Is this supposed to get us excited, or they're angry too? I think they're angry at the group he's talking to. It's like, I sit in rooms just like this with people that don't agree with you at all and are very angry at you because they don't agree with you, right? So just like anyways, Chris, keep going.
Angry. I sit and meet and talk to minority people who feel betrayed.
Just to let you know, minority people is not just black people. It's the Latinos. It's Asia, South Asia, East Asia, North Asia, West Asia, and then Northwest Asia. Yeah.
They're driven nuts by the migrant situation because so much of the emergency services that get sucked up by that population are in their communities. The change in policing that was supposed to be for them on the left flank has made them more endangered in their communities. The economic recovery, while everybody likes to brag about how good it's been for minorities, they don't feel it. Now, it's not fair to put them all in one block. There are plenty of rich minorities, yes, but socioeconomically, you have a disproportionate distribution, right? As you go down the socioeconomic ladder, relatively, you start having more and more minorities, right? You have more poor white people in the country than poor black people, but by percentage, it's different. That's why they're reconsidering it. That we are in a time of change, and Joe Biden is not getting it done for the Democrats. He is not making their message. He does not seem like, the joke will be, we may not even make it. But he is failing to connect with their base.
So it's just a failure on Joe Biden to connect to their base. Now, is the base the black people? It's his failure to connect with the black people? Let's keep going.
And they will move. People will move. It can take time, but we are at a low point in our party politics. We have never had two unanimously bad choices for president before in our...
I love how Chris is just like, acting like he's nonpartisan. Bro, you're not on CNN anymore. The gig is up. You know, like, we know who you support and we know who you hate. All right? It's cool. Everybody's got their opinion. Relax.
Our history.
Yeah, 2016 was
The worst, though, and we got the two worst people running in our history. Running again. And Dave's getting ready to say 2026 or 2016 was pretty bad.
pretty rough. But
Can you play this clip, Rob? And the reason why I'm asking
He's referring to Hillary, by the way.
this question
Hillary
is,
Clinton,
I
for
think,
all her negatives, was no one thought she was going to like drop dead. I mean, I know they played.
yes,
with the
no, I
whole
get your point. No, listen, it's a fair point. Yeah.
Do you think black people trust Fauci?
It depends on who they listen to.
Can you play this clip, Rob?
You know, it depends on what you take
I want
in.
to show you two clips. Go play this clip. Go ahead.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. If you don't take in mainstream media, right.
You guys doing with vaccine?
I haven't gotten it yet. I'm waiting for them to be able to.
Oh, you should get it first. Okay, that way you won't give it to them.
Oh, I thought I would give it to them if I get it.
No, not at all. In fact, we got to get you vaccinated so that if you were to get infected, you could pass it on to them. So you're actually protecting your family by getting them vaccinated.
Well, I heard that it doesn't cure it, and it doesn't
That's true.
stop you from getting it.
No.
So
On the very, very, very rare chance that you do get it, even if you...
Hold on, was that three varies? Very, very, very rare chance? That's very rare.
vaccinated, it's a very, you don't even feel sick. It's like you don't even know you got infected. It's very, very good at protecting you.
Just the Anacostia, so get up there. Okay.
All right, see you later.
Thank you. Have a good day.
The people in America are not settled with the information that's been given to us right now. So I'm not going to be lining up taking a shot or a vaccination for something that wasn't clear in the first place. And then you all create a shot in miraculous time. It takes years to create vaccination.
Well, it used to take years.
Okay, it used to.
You know how many years were invested in this approach? About 20 years of science to get us to be able to do it.
20 years is not enough. And 9 months is definitely not enough for nobody to be taking no vaccination that you all came up with.
The only reason I'm talking to you right now, as close as we are, is that I've been vaccinated.
Right.
But if it allows thousands of people like you don't get
And you believe in the magic of the jab. Got it. Keep going.
vaccinated, you're going to let this virus continue to percolate in this country and in this world.
Something like the common flu then, right?
And
It's much more serious than the flu.
Well, the flu kills a lot of people annually too.
You know how many people died of the flu the last year? I mean, not this year, virtually none, but the
Virtually none have died this year because it's all COVID.
previous year, about 20 to 30,000. You know how many people have died from COVID-19 in the United States? 600,000 Americans.
Based on whose numbers? How did they get those numbers? And we won't go into that.
Well, the number that you all given that died, that's once again, that's you all's number.
you going to pass.
Yeah, definitely.
All
Because when you start talking about paying people to get vaccinated, when you start talking about incentivizing things to get people vaccinated, there's something else going on with that.
That's a real man right there. That is a real man. I mean, it doesn't get more real than that.
It's something else going on.
It
with
is
that.
something going on.
There's something else
You're
going
right.
on.
But I'm glad millions of people like me and most everybody.
Yeah, there is something going on. Hold on, what? You admit it, and it's cool? Like what? This is cool. This is cool to watch this.
Here didn't get an. You know what their incentive was? Protecting their health and protecting the city. But I won't keep you anymore.
It's okay, because
Thank you.
I'm gonna shame you. You don't want to protect anybody. Yeah, you're kind of a shitty person. I could tell. Look at this place you live in. You're shitty. I got a green shirt on, and I'm standing beside. I mean, what is that? A dwarf? I mean, how can you say anything nice about Fauci? Yeah, I know he's a fellow human being, but oh my God, what a tool.
My attempt, y'all campaign is about fear. It's about inciting fear in people. You all attack people with fear. That's what
Dude,
this
the best part is he keeps talking shit while they walk away.
That's right. There was a camera.
By the way, just how beautiful is that, man?
For sure.
So good.
Dude, I gotta, after this, I gotta go down to Baltimore. I gotta, with that video, and try to find that house so I can just salute that guy. Isn't it just amazing that what's crazy about it is here you have Fauci and these local Baltimore politicians going through the hood in Baltimore, knocking on doors, and they're wrecking him. And it's not even like, listen, with hindsight 2020, because at the time they were putting out the video and mocking these dumb black people in the inner city don't know what's going on. They were right. And Fauci was wrong. And Fauci was totally, it should be, I mean, you should lose your license. You should be shunned from society. For him to make the claim, to look at somebody when none of the trials and none of the data at the time supported this idea that if you get it, oh, you might get sick, but you won't even feel it, and you can't give it to anybody else. This was nonsense. And I heard, actually, by the way, Jay Bhattacharya, who wrote the foreword to this book, he said at the time, he goes, whoa, Fauci is way overplaying his hand. Like, none of the data justifies him making this claim.
It's not none of the data. Here's where they were wrong, okay?
Tell it to us.
Wrong. Here's where it did. Where they were wrong. Okay, they weren't wrong. Here's where it didn't it didn't become what they wanted it to be. Look,
no, they were wrong.
Here's where
I know
wrong.
many people who got the vaccine and got COVID and were very sick and gave it to other people.
So they were wrong. With the later variants. So do I. I know people too. You'd be surprised.
By the way, these are, just to be clear here, just in case, because all this time gets muddled together, okay?
Yeah.
These are the later variants. The vaccine was not available for the first variant, okay? The vaccine was not available. These are all the later variants are what we're talking about here.
No, that's not true. You had it for the second and third, and then it really dropped off. The first, look, again, the idea that you guys enjoy the owning, I think, is part of the problem, okay? I know that.
Oh, I'm sorry. When you get owned, you can't take it. Oh, that's too bad. I guess you can only dish it out. Oh, well, that makes sense. That makes sense. You guys enjoy owning people that are wrong? And you think you're a good person, man. You think you're a good person? Well, I'm just letting you know that I'm a better person because I see it. I see your love of owning people, and it's not Christ-like. I would never do that. I'm Chris Cuomo.
There's something.
I need to get his impersonation down, his accent down, but yeah, not that good.
Satisfying about it, and it works great for media and for clips and to get you enragement. But it doesn't move the ball.
Chris, man.
Enragement. That's kind of like a engagement, rage engagement.
You're telling me we could play that video of the way you and all your colleagues demonized the unvaccinated? Were they not trying to own us? It's only I'm the one who wants to own.
Vaccinated,
no, it's in response.
Not getting vaccinated mattered.
Yes, it's in response to all of you guys trying to own us for years from all of the halls of power.
Fine.
That now that you were wrong about everything, we're going to point that out.
Fine.
Yes.
No, hold on. Two things. One, vengeance. Good. I hope it feels good. If you
look at him. Oh, virtue signaling.
Think it's going to stop it from happening again? You're wrong. You're wrong. I don't think it's vengeance either. I'm saying if that's the instinct.
I'm not saying that's what it is. I just said that that's what it is. But I'm not saying that that's what it is.
You tried to own us. We're going to try to own you.
We hear both sides. You hear one.
That's not true. But that's why I'm here. Okay? And that's why I have a show that has guys like you on more than any other show on television. Okay?
It is true.
They changed the definition of vaccine not for this vaccine. They changed it when they started doing RNA. This is technically not a vaccine because it doesn't make you immune. Now, here's what they got wrong. They do the testing in record time, right, which nobody was upset with when Trump was president, but it gets done.
Lots of people
They
were.
have 90.
Anyways, this video is still about the reason why Trump has 22% of the black vote. Okay, but keep going.
They were quiet. 95%, they say efficacy. What did that mean? 95% was severe illness, symptoms that you could recognize that may hospitalize you. That's what they didn't have, not sick. They then took that and made it into a cell of, so if you take the vaccine, does that mean like polio, you don't get it? No. That means that even if you get it, you won't be that sick. And then here's the mistake they made. Because you don't have that much virus in you and you're not that sick, you probably won't pass it on to somebody else. And that was a big part of the cell that became less and less true over time. And the messaging didn't stay.
Okay,
and you
but
would
by
call
the way,
that a therapeutic.
But well,
That's
by the
right.
way,
at best.
as somebody who was, you know, and I agree with what you're saying. We were in different positions. You were the #1 show at CNN. I was doing a podcast on the internet. But as somebody who was not in that bubble that you were in, and was talking to experts who were outside of the establishment, the idea that there were going to be variants of this virus and that the vaccine would do a worse and worse job with all of the variants was the easiest thing to predict.
That's not true.
And experts did predict this.
That's not,
yes.
no, I'm not saying it
Yes,
didn't
they
happen.
did.
I'm saying that the people they were using to do the measurements did not see it. And then
No, the people
when it
you were
happened,
talking to didn't. The people I was talking to did see
you were,
this
so you were
coming.
talking to people at the NIH and the CDC who was doing
No,
the
that's the
testing?
whole point. I wasn't. So I was talking, but
Listen.
there were plenty of experts outside. See, this is the problem here, Chris, is that you, which is the exact opposite of what the journalist's job is to do, is that you hold up here the government officials as if they're the real experts and nobody else is an expert.
That's not
I
true.
just gave you a book that was written by Tom Woods, has a degree from Harvard and Columbia, and the forward by Dr. Badia. He is a professor at Stanford.
Okay.
These are legit experts, okay? They didn't work for the CDC or the NIH, but the job of a journalist is to always start from a place of skepticism toward those in government.
There's no question about it. And when we went down and it started to change, I wish that I had been more aggressive about that, and I wasn't, because I didn't see it. Now, I've had a lot of time to read in.
Because you're blind to it because of what Dave just said. You're not you're in support of these government programs, these three-letter institutions, and you don't combat them at all. You assume that they're always right, which is antithetical to actually being a journalist. But let's keep going.
Into this, especially because of my own sickness. And I see things that most people still don't know and haven't been reported on. I'm one of the only people who reports on long COVID. I'm sorry you were an asshole.
Not bad. Not bad.
My point is this. My point is this. I don't need to have these conversations. They don't particularly rate well.
Saying the quiet part out loud. I don't need to have these conversations with people like you. They're not going to boost my ratings. Getting owned like this, it's not going to boost my rating. I have conversations that continue to make me look like the authority in this situation. And better than the common person. The common folk like you. Ew.
I get a lot of criticism from people in power.
Do you?
I get
Good. That should be a badge of honor, man. You're a newsman, right?
It depends on the look. You don't know me, okay? The idea that I am conflict averse is silly. The idea that I don't test power is silly. What I'm talking about here is you're pretending because you can. You have the luxury of not worrying about what happens when you say what you say. I work for a place that will get a phone call from someone that they care about, okay? It will matter to them. And you can say, well, they work for this 3-letter agency that are all, you know, bad
Chris,
people.
if I had, let me tell you something. This is what's really infuriating.
Pretty much what he's saying is, you don't understand being in my position at CNN, such a powerful institution, where I have people that if I say things that they're going to be offended and they're very powerful and you just can't say what you think. So I couldn't just say what I think. And so I stopped thinking. I stopped actually thinking for myself and just accepted that everyone above me is right and they're telling me the truth. Because if I question them, they come down on me. But when I say it on my show, and then there's people out there that disregard what I have to say, then shame on you.
About you saying that, right? I understand the pressures at CNN where powerful people could make a phone call and then you could be in a lot of trouble.
No, it's just an accountability
here, let's talk accountability. If I had your track record on COVID, I'd be out of business. Period. No one would listen to me anymore. I would have no way of making money.
Argue the reverse.
I'd be ruined.
I would argue the reverse.
Of course you would, Chris. You'd argue the reverse. Because you've always got to have, you know, a better take on things.
If you didn't tell people that there were easy ways to get past COVID and that the vaccine was a joke and everything that happened was a joke, I don't think you'd be in business. I think if you weren't doing these things, I don't think you'd have the same platform because it sells very well in digital media.
No, I mean, it's just, first off, I never said the things that you just said. The thing is that, yes, you're right. Me being against lockdowns, against mandates, against the corruption of big pharma, yes, that did help me.
No, and the
sure.
vaccine. You don't think people should have taken the vaccine.
I already said that I do think there was a group of people early on who should have taken the vaccine.
But what is that group?
I said already, I'll say it. I think old, sick people who had never had COVID.
And the people who were with them?
No, I don't agree with that.
Really?
But I think there was a strong argument for that demographic. By the way, old, sick people who had COVID, probably unnecessary to take the vaccine. Your likelihood of dying after you had already beat COVID once plummeted way, way down. Natural immunity is stronger than the vaccine, as it is with almost all
And by
vaccines.
the way, it's interesting.
All of the studies show that hybrid immunity, which is having gotten it from the virus and also having the vaccine, is the best level of immunity. That's what the research says. It's
not true.
That's what the research says.
Yes, but to say what you're saying, my dad, when we were talking as a family on who should take the vaccine, should not, what are you going to be doing? Here's what we're doing. I'm not taking it. Wife's not taking it. Kids are not taking it. My dad, who's a conservative, took it. And he was 78 or 79 at the time when he took it. I think something like that, right? 4 years ago. He took it, and he got the boosters. 2 years later, he got COVID and pneumonia at the same time at 80 years old. Literally. Do you remember that when he got COVID and pneumonia? How bad was it? Yeah, he was bad. But guess what? He's here with us at 82.
He's strong.
So there's a part of it, I agree. The fact that, you know, for a certain section of a community,
well,
I
listen,
think it
but
was...
and that's a good point, Pat, but here's the thing, in the real world, what was going on, during all those clips that you were showing of them demonizing the unvaccinated, this was, again, to put this in the time frame here, right, this was after the rollout, okay? So after the vaccine was made accessible for everybody in America, and they really did make it very accessible for everybody, and then not enough people were getting the vaccine, and then they started like pushing like employer mandates and things like that. Ultimately, Joe Biden lost at the Supreme Court with his OSHA mandate, which would have made every mid-size and big company force their employees to get vaccinated. Okay, but at about this point, when there's still some people being hesitant, that's when you see everybody demonizing the unvaccinated. This is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. When they started rolling these things out, okay, so I know someone, a family friend, right? This is a kid who was at a grad school, 25, something like that at the time. They forced him to get double vaccinated, and then the next year, they forced him to get boosted a month after he had COVID. This is a healthy 25-year-old. And so, you could talk about, if you want to split hairs, about the people living with a vulnerable person. No, I think if that vulnerable person got vaccinated, that's enough. But there's just no scientific argument in the world why a 25-year-old kid who is already double jabbed, who just had COVID, a month later should get a booster. And yet on CNN and all the other major networks, they made it seem like that wasn't even a thing. It was just, you're a bonehead, you're an idiot, you're what's ruining this country. And the craziest thing about it was that they were blaming the unvaccinated for why you don't have freedom anymore. Like, they're the reason why all the rest of you guys can't enjoy your freedom, when the reality is the reason the rest of us could enjoy our freedom was because of the corrupt government who was doing this to us for no reason. And man, it just would have.
But you know that's not true.
No, I know it's 100% true.
No, that's how you feel.
No, that's
what you
what
know
I believe
is that they
is true.
did have a basis for why they were doing it. They believed that the numbers weren't coming down fast enough. They believed that if they didn't get a certain vaccination rate, that it would stay that way and continue to kill people that they didn't want to die. So they pushed it. Now, you can say I disagree with their findings. That's even more reason to have it all reviewed. I'm sorry, Dave. I don't mean it to be condescending or insulting. I don't mean it that way. But you can't really have the confidence that you know all the answers, and there's no reason for anybody to tell you any different.
Oh, like you acted? You mean I can't act like you? Because I'm not as privileged as you. I'm not in the position of authority like you. I'm just a common person. I'm a YouTuber. So my opinion doesn't even matter. Right, got it. You can't be like me, bruh.
I don't agree with that.
I mean, listen,
there are better answers out there that we aren't getting, and COVID is still making people sick. There's a variant flying through Asia right now that's more contagious than they thought it was going to be. It's going to wind up coming back here. I'm not saying there's going to be any.
Asia, by the way, includes South Asia, East Asia, West Asia, North Asia, and then Northwest Asia. Just reminding everybody who's been following this whole video.
Anything like what we lived through already, there's no will for it. And no politician is going to put themselves into a position where no one's going to comply. But people are going to get sick in your life, okay? And not from COVID. I'm saying from what happened to them a year ago, 2 years ago. Maybe it's the vaccine. Maybe, well, not maybe, definitely from the virus, maybe from the vaccine. They're going to get sick. We are not working on therapeutics at the rate. They are not putting the money into research. There are databases, but they are not on it the way you would think they'd be on it. And a big reason is because of this divide. They don't want to engage with a population that they believe is just antagonistic. So much so that even though, and look, all due respect, I don't care who you vote for, the anti-vax Trump supporter correlation is very strong, okay? But his people don't have this conversation with you. You don't have anyone, even Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yes, and that's a problem. Yes, we get it. Let's fast forward. Can Dave say something?
In all of this.
Quote, right? What happens to people who don't learn the lessons? They'll repeat them.
Yeah, well, I sure do agree with that. I think that the silver lining in all of this is that trust in corporate media is at an all-time low. Trust in every other institution in this country has evaporated. And the truth is that you'll never be able to do this to us again because we simply won't let you. People won't believe it next time. And
what is trust high in America today? What is trust high in?
I'm not exactly sure what you're asking.
He's saying if trust is not high in media and the government,
what is it high
in?
Oh, well, I think that there's tremendous trust in the alternative internet media landscape.
No,
yeah, absolutely. There is.
Listen, I'm not saying there shouldn't be. I'm
Look,
saying,
Chris, you could just look at the market on this. Look at the numbers Joe Rogan gets versus the numbers CNN gets. Way more people have flocked over to him than are watching CNN because they trust him.
Look, I'm happy. I'm happy for Joe Rogan's success. Good for him. The highest rated thing.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Don't let him fool you. He does not like it at all because Joe is not part of the mainstream media. He has not climbed the ladder. He has not put the work in. He has not schmoozed the right people. He's not become a complete and utter asshole to get to the position that Chris has gotten. I see that a lot. The older I get, is people in the position that they're in do not like people having success in that same realm without having to put the amount of time and quote unquote hard work into it that they did. And the main reason is it's not the hard work. It's the compromise with being a good person. It's doing things that you would not normally do and you would disagree with doing, but you had to do it to continue to climb the ladder and have your success. And if someone you find out that somebody gets to the same or more success than you and hasn't had to do those things and hasn't had to quote unquote climb the ladder like you have, worked as hard as you have, there's a lot of resentment there because you hate the fact that you did this, that you compromised on your morals and stopped thinking for yourself, was told what to do, allowed people to change you and manipulate you. I get it. I would have resentment too. But that's why I'm a nobody on YouTube and nobody's paying me. Because I would hate to tell my kids that I did that, because you become somebody. You become somebody that can't see that they were wrong. And they just keep doubling down and justifying every move they make. Well, I had to do this. I had to do this. You don't understand. You're not in my position. You're not at the level of authority that I'm. Blah, 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 all this stuff. Instead of saying, I compromised. I compromised on what I knew what was good. And I need to do some deep soul searching and reevaluate who I am, who I want to be.
In media, and let's just put it all in one basket. You've got the nightly news that was supposed to be dead 20 years ago, still gets 9 million people a night. So the idea that nobody cares about that, obviously they do, they're watching. What I'm saying is
versus
this.
40 million. Used to be a lot more than 9 million.
Yeah, but you measure that over a month.
No, I get that.
Not one day.
No. Cronkite used to be the,
Oh, there's no question. It's stratifying. It's changing. And I think that's good. I think it's good.
No, but I mean, I think that...
I'm saying that there's no trust in anything.
No, I don't think you're right. I mean, I think that... I mean, I don't know that I have, like, polling data on this, but I'd imagine if I could poll the valuetainment audience, there'd be tremendously high trust in Patrick Bet David. I'd imagine if you could poll my audience, they would be tremendously high trust in me. That's not true. And look, I understand kind of not wanting to deal with that because it's uncomfortable when you were one of the main guys in an industry as trust totally cratered in that industry. But you can look at this on a poll. Trust in media is at an all-time low.
Trust has been low in media since the Vietnam War. That was the turning point.
You can look at these Gallup polls.
It's
gotten
lower and lower.
Pull up the other one. Not
right
even
there.
this one. There's another one. No, it's not. It's at 23, 27 right
I think
now.
it's lower than that. I think
it's ever been. Like
it may be the lowest, but I think it's lower than that. But the point is, it's low in everything. It's low in everything, and there's a difference between a fan base and brand respect.
No, I don't think that's how.
Boom. Put that little jab in there. Jab him just a little bit. There's a difference between a fan base, what you guys got going on, and brand respect, okay? That's what I was a part of, okay? Don't you dare try to talk down and delegitimize the system that I was a part of, because that's the highest level. And I got there, and I was at the top. And if you devalue and speak lowly of this status, then my sense of myself goes down, and I can't take it. I cannot allow you to do that. I love Chris.
How life works. I don't think that's how life works. I think here's how life works. You got your mom and dad when your parents go through a divorce. At the time, one paints a picture of the other person that you buy into, and the other person doesn't say shit. For 15 years, you think this is a bad person. 15 years later, you realize this person was full of shit. This person's trust is lost. This person's trust is gained. Trust moves. Trust doesn't stay and just disappear 100% against everybody.
Find a graph that shows what has increased trust, spiking trust.
By the way, let me show you this.
Don't ever let me be a person who says, "Find me a graph."
I want to show you this. I asked you guys a question about the black vote, why it's gone from 9 to 22, and I showed you.
I can't believe anything without a graph, okay? Like, how dare you even think that I could believe something without a graph? Ugh. What am I, a common person like you with a fan base?
Dude, one clip. I want to show you the second clip. I want you to see this here. This is Bronx. It's not all black. You got Dominican, Puerto Rican, a lot of that. This is last week, Rob.
Got whites, got Asians.
I want you to watch this clip. I want you to watch this clip real quick. And
he mentioned Asians again. I just wanted to clarify. Asians include East Asia, South Asia, North Asia, West Asia, and Northwest, West-North Asia. Just to keep everybody on the same track here.
We can come back to last thing because we got 20 minutes left. I do want to hit immigration.
Let's see this clip.
Because I want to show you guys one clip to get your
over.
feedback on. Rob, if you got the clip I texted you, just play the clip. I texted it to you a few minutes ago. I'll put a thumbs up on it. I want you to play. It's a tweet. Chicago One Ray. Chicago One Ray is a tweet. Go ahead and play this clip. Watch this, folks.
If President Trump came here to the South Bronx, would you attend the rally?
Of course. I would want to meet Trump. I want to shake his hand. He's the only president that I see that can ever make America great again. He's capable of doing that.
I would love to go to a rally with Donald Trump come. Because I'm a big Donald Trump supporter, and I will support him 100%.
Oh, yeah, definitely we're going to show him love. We're going to show him a lot of love, and, you know, like they do in other states. We definitely need to see Trump here.
There's nothing but love for Donald Trump here in the South Bronx, the North Bronx, the East Bronx, and the West Bronx.
So, tell me...
We want Trump to come back. Please, bro. Biden, get out of here, bro. I would come to the rally and support Trump, because the Bronx need a change, and we need somebody that's really going to help this community.
I would definitely come to a Trump rally in the South Bronx. I like him.
You do?
Yes.
Yes, I will come to a rally if President Trump was to come to the Bronx, and I also would bring other people to come too and support him.
Would Joe Biden get a warm reception if he came to the Bronx?
No, he wouldn't have. And I'll make sure of that.
Reporting for Newsnet from the South Bronx, New York.
And by the way, obviously we all know, according to Biden, none of these people were black. You know that, right? I just want to make sure you know this.
That's a good point.
It's a delusion.
Just a bunch of white people.
No, it's a bunch of white
people
in Bronx. Of course it is.
Chris didn't get the joke. He's referencing Biden on, I think, Charlemagne, the interview with Charlemagne where he told him if you don't vote for Biden, you ain't black or something like that. So, anyways, great video. A lot of things to take away from that, but still never got an answer from old Cuomo on why the black vote is at 22% for Trump. And you know what? I feel like I need to answer that for him because they're seeing through the BS. You know? You can only lie to somebody for so long and tell them that we're going to make your life so much better. Just trust us. Not the other people. They're all lying. All of them are just lying, especially the guy with the red hair. He's the biggest liar. Just trust us. We're gonna make everything so much better for you. And they don't. Here's the truth at the end of the day. Politics is about wielding power and holding office and holding position to wield that power and to make money off of the citizens and not have to really work a job, but have inside information on what to invest in and build wealth that way. Yeah, it's a dirty truth. That's why you have Nancy Pelosi and her husband making such great moves with the stock market. They have inside information. They don't have to work a job. The job is just show up and BS, talk, get your way, you know? You're not running a business. You're not providing a service or a product for your fellow Americans or for the world that is benefiting anybody. No, you're just holding office. You're telling people, look, I'm a great person. I'm amazing at making decisions, especially for you. And let's face it, you can barely make a decision for yourself, so you need me. I'll make the best decisions. Vote me in and keep me in. I'll just, I'll just make fun of everybody who is trying to run against me and, smear them so that, I look great and I keep getting elected. And then, I'll just invest the money that I make into the stocks that are going to make me the most money because of the information I'm getting while being in office. Like, this is a simple thing, guys. Help me out. Help me out. You would do the same thing if you were in my position. So, let's just agree that you're never going to get here. So just do it for me. All right? This is the American way. You make me rich. Thank you. And don't speak back to me. All right? Don't you, hey, remember your place. I'll put you in court. I'll take away your assets. I'll bankrupt you. Calm down now. I'm the authority here. Thank you. I've turned into an utter asshole in my pursuit of status. All right? Of getting to this position. I've become an asshole, okay? And you don't know what it takes to get to this level. You don't know. You don't know. I didn't want to be an asshole, okay? But I am now, all right? And because of that, because of having to do that, I'm going to stay in this position. And you're going to help me. I'm going to make you help me stay here. And thank you. No. You're welcome. All right. Have a good day.